In a remote village in Asia, ancient beliefs and traditions are still very much alive. Tonight, we witness an age-old ritual meant to expel a dark presence from a tormented soul. A young woman, in her early 20s, lies on a bed. Her eyes are wide open, but she seems distant, almost catatonic. Her mother, Emarzla, sits beside her, holding her hand and crying softly. Shadows dance ominously on the walls.
Stay strong, my child. The shaman will be here soon.
A happy family scene with Aya laughing and playing with her younger brother, Jin, and Mrs. Lee smiling lovingly. The laughter echoes hauntingly as we cut back to the present. An elderly shaman, dressed in traditional robes, enters the house with a small entourage of villagers carrying ceremonial items. The atmosphere is tense and heavy. We must begin immediately. The villagers set up a makeshift altar with offerings, candles, and sacred items. The shaman starts chanting in an ancient language, sprinkling holy water around the room. The chanting reverberates eerily. This spirit is strong, but we must remain stronger. A group of villagers gathers outside the bedroom, whispering among themselves, worried yet hopeful. The flickering candlelight casts ghostly shadows on their faces. I've heard this shaman has driven out many evil spirits. We can only hope he succeeds tonight. Back in the bedroom, Aya suddenly starts convulsing. The shaman quickly places a protective amulet around her neck. The room grows colder, and an eerie wind rustles through the house.
What's happening to her?
The spirit is resisting. We must proceed with caution. The shaman intensifies his chanting, waving a bundle of burning sage over Aya. Her convulsions become more violent, and she starts speaking in a deep, otherworldly voice. Shadows in the room seem to move with a life of their own. In a distorted voice,
"You cannot drive me out. She belongs to me."
to the spirit, "You have no place here. Return to the darkness from whence you came." The room shakes, and objects start flying around. The shaman uses various tools, including a sacred dagger and talismans, to fend off the spirit's attacks. The villagers outside hear the commotion and murmur anxiously. Villager 3? This is worse than we thought. The room is bright and filled with laughter. Aya and Jin play, but suddenly, Jin starts coughing and collapses. The memory distorts and fades as we return to the present chaos. The shaman places his hands on Aya's forehead, chanting louder and more fervently. A bright light seems to emanate from his hands, and Aya screams, her body arching off the bed. The room is filled with an intense, otherworldly light. By the power of the ancestors, I command you to leave. With a final blood-curdling scream, Aya collapses back onto the bed, breathing heavily. The room falls silent. The shaman steps back, exhausted but victorious. She is free now. The spirit has been banished. Mrs. Lee embraces Aya, who slowly regains consciousness. Tears stream down both their faces. The villagers outside cheer in relief and gratitude.
Mother, what happened?
You're safe now, my child. The nightmare is over.
A young Jin lies in bed, pale and weak. Mrs. Lee and Aya watch over him, their faces etched with worry. Jin's breathing slows, and he passes away. The memory fades to the present, highlighting the loss and sorrow that lingers in the house. The shaman gathers his things, ready to leave. He pauses at the door, looking back at the now peaceful household. Remember, faith and strength are your greatest weapons. Stay vigilant. And so, the ancient rituals continue, preserving the delicate balance between the physical world and the spiritual realm. In this small village, the light of hope shines once more, though shadows of the past remain.